What is the price of a prophet? The most sophisticated power brokers in Arabia thought they knew. The Quraysh were not fools, but they tried to replace the last prophet of Allah. They were the most sophisticated power brokers in Arabia, but they failed. Before we continue, say blessings upon the Prophet in the comments. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Mecca, when Prophet Muhammad was age 45, they came with an offer to Prophet's uncle, Abu Talib. Not a threat, not a sword. An offer, because the Quraysh were smart enough to know, if you can't break a man, you buy him. They had tried everything else. 3 years of mockery, 3 years of pressure. 3 years of watching their most powerful men sit outside his house in the dark, listening to words they could neither refute nor forget. So now they came to the old man, Abu Talib the uncle, the last wall standing between them and the Prophet. They came with a gift. The gift is Amr ibn al-Walid, and he was by every measure what Mecca had as perfect. Young, striking, well-born. His father was Walid ibn al-Mughira, one of the wealthiest men in Arabia. This gift, Walid, his brother would one day be called the Sword of Allah. The Quraysh pushed him forward like a prize, proud, certain, and waiting for Abu Talib's eyes to widen. And then their spokesmen say, "O Abu Talib, this is Amr ibn al-Walid, the finest youth in all of Quraysh. Take him, adopt him. He is yours, his mind, his strength, his name. All of it, yours. In exchange, give us your nephew, the one who has divided your people, to abandon your father's religion, and shattered what took generations to build. Hand him to us. A man for a man, fair trade." Abu Talib looked at them. He looked at the boy. He looked back at the men who had raised him, traded with him, broken bread with him for 60 years. And something settled in his face, not anger. Something colder than anger. Clarity. By Allah, what a miserable bargain you propose to me. You want to give me your son so I may feed him, raise him, carry him, and to give you my son so that you may kill him. By Allah, this shall never be. My son, not nephew, son. That word is the whole story. The Quraysh had spent 3 years calculating Abu Talib as a political variable, a man of interests, of tribal logic, of negotiable loyalty. But were wrong. They never once considered that he simply loved the Prophet, peace be upon him. But they weren't finished. When the deal collapsed, one of the elders, Mudam ibn Adi, tried a different blade. Your people have been fair with you, Abu Talib. They have tried to lighten your burden, but I see. You have no desire to accept anything from them. Fair. Abu Talib heard that word, and the last thread of diplomacy in him snapped clean. By Allah, you have simply agreed among yourselves to humiliate me, to leave me alone. So do what you like. The delegation left, the door closed, the deal was dead. And fast forward to 3 years. Next was the boycott, 3 years of starvation in a valley. Children crying through walls. Abu Talib's clan of the tribe, the entire Banu Hashim clan, reduced to eating leaves and dried leather. All of it because one old man refused to give out the Prophet for a boy. But here is what later settled. Amr ibn al-Walid, the prize they offered, the finest youth in Mecca, was later sent to Abyssinia to undermine the Muslim refugees there. He never came back whole. Consumed by his own appetites, stripped of his mind, his dignity, his name, he died outcast and broken, wandering the wilderness like a man who had forgotten himself. The prize destroyed himself, and Khalid ibn al-Walid, Amrah's own brother, who would spend years as one of Islam's most dangerous enemies. Later walked into the presence of the Prophet and wept, "Peace be upon." The Prophet looked at him and said, "I always hoped your intelligence would lead you to goodness." One brother was traded like gold and became dust. The other was never offered and became a sword in the hand of God. So here is the question. The Quraysh were not fools. They were the most sophisticated power brokers in Arabia. And they got it completely, catastrophically wrong, because they were measuring with the wrong scale. They looked at Amrah and saw value. They looked at the Prophet and saw a problem. They looked at Abu Talib's silence and saw a man waiting to be moved. They found a mountain. The offer they made that day was not just a political blunder. It was a confession proof that when a society loses the ability to recognize what is real, it will trade everything sacred for something that merely shines. That mistake is not ancient, it is alive. It is being made right now, in every room where the valuable is discarded and the impressive is purchased. They tried to make a deal, and Allah had already made his. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.